Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Words of Peace podcast. I'm your host, Armando, and today we will be in 1 Corinthians. A lot of people seem, for some reason, to reject the idea of wanting to be preached to. For example, to the Jews, being preached to about Christ became a stumbling block for them. In other words, the Jews thought Christ was a lie. And they thought that those words were blasphemy to them. They thought Christ was trying to be God, and that is why they chose to crucify him. Another example would be to consider the philosophers of this world. In other meanings, the Greeks considered preaching Christ to be foolishness. The reason why they thought it was foolishness was because they used other knowledges that would contradict the idea of God. Even in the subject of preaching baptism, people seem to reject the truth. If I were to use knowledge of popular philosophy, popular English, or any other areas of knowledge of this world, and mix those things with the teachings of Christ, then my words will have no effect on you. This is why a lot of people make the mistake of rejecting the truth. So when I was lost before I was saved, it was this foolish preaching of the cross and praying to the Lord that saved me. But now that I have been saved, the preaching of the cross is the power of God. And by realizing this, I understand that preaching Christ will destroy the wisdom of the wise. We need to be careful not to be like the Jews that required a sign from Christ to prove that he was God. And we need to be careful to not be like the Greeks who seek wisdom of this world, but to seek only the wisdom of Christ's teachings. Today, I remind us that God is wiser than men, and the weakness of God is stronger than men. This sets up the scriptures of our verses. So I'm going to be reading in chapter 1, verses 17 through 25. And Paul writes to the church in Corinth, "For Christ did not send me to baptize, but to preach the gospel, not with cleverness of speech, so that the cross of Christ would not be made of no effect." The wisdom of God is the title of this next verse. "For the word of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing, but to us who are being saved, it is the power of God. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise, and the understanding of those who have understanding I will confound. Where is the wise person? Where is the scribe? Where is the debater of this age? Has God not made foolish the wisdom of this world? For since in the wisdom of God, the world through its wisdom did not come to know God, God was pleased through the foolishness of the message being preached to save those who believe. For indeed Jews asked for signs and Greeks searched for wisdom. But we preach Christ crucified, to Jews a stumbling block and to Gentiles foolishness. But to those who are the called, both Jews and Greeks, Christ the power of God and the wisdom of God. For the foolishness of God is wiser than mankind, and the weakness of God is stronger than mankind." As we bring this devotion to a close, I want to remind us of these thoughts to reflect on. That if any of us have a calling from God, let us not be like any wise man, to seek after the flesh. God has chosen the weak things of this world to confuse the wise. It is our advantage that we preach Christ as wisdom and righteousness and sanctification and redemption. Now I'm going to jump real quick to verse 10. Now I urge you, brothers and sisters, by the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that you all agree and that there be no divisions among you, but that you be made complete in the same mind and in the same judgment. As a church, as we preach Christ, we should have no divisions amongst ourselves, but instead, we should be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment. Let us not seek flesh, but after the Spirit, because he that finds glory, let him glorify in the Lord. So with these words, I will bring this devotion to a close. So, that is all for today. And if you like this devotional and would like to continue being notified when I post a new one, please click and subscribe below. And please click the little bell icon. And please share this with your friends and family. And if you would like to contact me with any prayer requests, or if you have any questions that you may have on this channel, please contact me at thewordsofpeacepodcast@gmail.com. Thank you, and tune in next time. And as always, have a blessed day.